Hi everyone, it's amazing to be back on Artschool. It's Monday night, it's 7 o'clock, and as always, we've got an amazing show for you. We're going to play the art world's biggest rotters, we're going to do Art of Art, we're going to take a look at your work, we've got an amazing special guest, and tonight's show is going to be all about social media. So we all ready? Let's do it.
Artschool, it's Artschool. It's like normal school, but more arty, 'cause it's
Artschool.
Okay, so tonight I thought it'd be really interesting to do a show all about social media and the impact it's had on art and the things that we make as artists and the things that we see as artists as well. So if you're on there, if you're out there, say hi, let us know that you're about, and it'll be lovely and that'll be really good. So jumping into this social media thing, when I started making art way back when in the 90s, the internet was a fledgling thing. There was very little art going on. In fact, I got told off by galleries for having a website. I mean, wow, how times have changed. Social media is brilliant in a lot of ways, but I think there are some negative aspects to it as well that maybe we should be considering. One of the things that's really amazing about social media is the fact we can engage as artists directly with our audience. We can put out work and we get that kind of instant feedback of, do they like it, do they not like it? And obviously as artists before that, we would send our works to a gallery, they would put on an exhibition. We didn't really know who walked into the show, what they thought of what we made. And that's very similar to what happened to the music industry. Artists were putting out albums all over the place, but they had a record label in the middle, which meant that they couldn't connect to their audience. That changed in music, of course, because loads of people put all their music on the internet and the public started to be able to choose the things that they like. And certainly in art, we've seen the same thing. Massive artists coming out of social media, and particularly Instagram, and other people are actually using social media as a medium, an artistic medium in its own right. Hi, Saffron. Now, what's interesting also about the social media thing is there's a progression of ideas. I can see what you guys are making in your studio, you can see what I'm making, we can connect all over the world, and the culture moves together. But I wonder if there's a negative side to this, that people are making Instagram-friendly work that people are going to like, that maybe doesn't have the same depth. And perhaps people are less likely to turn up and see real art in a real art show because they think they've seen it all before on the internet. Now, a good example of that was last week. Nige brought his work in, and it was amazing. I'd seen his work on the internet before, but I had no idea how awesome it was going to be in the flesh. There's also this trend of like reality TV, celebrity fly on the wall thing, that people think by jumping on social media they can get famous or better known. So I think that also causes a kind of race to the bottom in terms of ideas. It doesn't necessarily mean because you've got the biggest numbers that you're making the best art. Now, one of the big things that's come out of social media is, of course, the phenomenon of the selfie. Now, back in the day, artists like Andy Warhol were making portraits of themselves and they were putting them in galleries. I've actually seen reviews of Warhol's so-called selfies where they've called these works selfies. And I wonder what defines a selfie. Is it the act of putting your work on the internet? Is it a self-portrait on the internet, an online portrait? Is that what makes it a selfie? I don't really know. But Richard Prince made a very interesting series of works. I think it was like a couple of years ago now, and he showed it at Gagosian. And what he did was he just downloaded loads of people's selfies off Instagram, printed them out really big, and put them in Gagosian Gallery. And these things sold for like $100,000 each because it's Richard Prince. And there was a massive uproar about that because it wasn't original and Richard Prince hadn't made the work. But actually, I think he's shined a really interesting spotlight on this idea of authorship, ownership. And actually, why do we freak out when social media comes into the gallery and we don't freak out when art goes onto social media? Another artist I've been looking at this week that I really wanted to share with you guys is this artist, Amalia Ullman. Now, she's been making some brilliant work, really, since she was a student at Central St Martin's, and she got quite big. Hans Ulrich from Serpentine at the time said she was going to be a big star and everything, and she had some quite big dealers, and she took to Instagram and started sharing these quite explicit selfies of herself, kind of getting breast enlargements or living the high life in LA. She portrayed herself as some kind of it girl. And all her galleries freaked out. They said, you've got to take yourself off the internet. No one will take your work seriously. You can't do this kind of thing, Amalia. But then she revealed the whole thing was a piece of performance art. The whole thing was scripted. And those selfies were then printed out, they were shown at the Tate, they were shown at the Whitechapel in their amazing show all about internet art, which was last year. You guys should look that up, that was an amazing show. And actually, she turned the whole thing on its head, and it was brilliant, and everybody loves her. Now, there's one other thing that I think is quite bizarre, which is this trend of selfies in cultural destinations. And actually, this gets quite sinister, because the Holocaust Memorial in Berlin is a place that people take the most inappropriate selfies. It's actually quite disgusting to see some of the things that people are doing in this very reverent and very important space. Now, the artist Shahak Shapira has made a really interesting series of work where she's taking these selfies off the internet and she's superimposing them over really quite extreme images of the Holocaust and putting them back on the internet. Now, I'm not going to show you these images on Facebook because we've had enough of that sort of censorship thing going on. But take a look into it, because I think they're some of the most profound internet social media works that have been made. Now, I want to lead into something else before we get on with the show, and that's the fact that we've actually launched our own community right here on Facebook, our own group. Vic, can you post a link to that for everybody in the comments? Thank you. Yeah, so you should see that come up now. And that's a group where you guys can share your work, you can share ideas, you can discuss with each other. I know a lot of you are already in that community, and it's lovely to have you, and I've really enjoyed seeing what you make. So please, everybody, join the community. Now, jumping into one of the questions last week, Emily asked, how do I get that super flat, super matte, magic-like finish in my work? And Emily, I promised that I'd demo it this week, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, hi Claire, hi Jason. From Nebraska, wow, it's great to have you. Okay, so, right, so Emily, I'm just going to use acrylic. I'm using, okay, shameless plug-ish. This is the acrylic that I invented, but all good quality acrylics will work. And I've got some blue today and a little canvas. Now, things that I'll point out, standard acrylic, actually good quality acrylic. There's a grain to the canvas I choose. I've only got a little bit, but this is 12-ounce cotton duck. That's got a bit of tooth. Now, that's going to help you hide those brush marks. And the other thing that I always say, if you watch any of my videos, is use a soft brush. Now, the other thing, if you want big, lumpy, bumpy marks, put it on really thick. If you don't, and you want it really flat, spread it out. I mean, the number of people I'm seeing sending me pictures of things saying, how do I make it flatter? And they're just not spreading it out. And as you spread out that acrylic paint, what will happen is it will actually, that tooth is going to, of the canvas is going to grab that, it's going to grip that, and that's going to give you a much flatter finish. Now, here's one that I made a little bit earlier. And the next stage of what I normally do in my paintings, imagine this is a big canvas with all sorts of stuff going on, is I will then add a layer of super matte varnish. Now, Liquitex do a really good one, Golden do a good one, there are several good ones. We've actually started inventing our own. It's not quite ready yet. It will be called Coat. I'm going to show you Coat because I'm a bit in love with this stuff at the moment. So just again, a super soft brush. I mean, this is the softest brush that I can possibly find. It's a really, really soft brush, and a little bit goes a long way, and I literally just coat my work with a really good quality matte varnish after I've made it, and then as that dries, you will see that you end up with something like that, which reflects almost no light, it's extremely flat, and that's how I get that super magic, ultra flat effect in my own work. Now, as always on the show, we have a very special guest lined up this week, and I can't wait for you to meet him. He's one of the most interesting... Oh, maybe he's here. Hello? Hello?
We've got the kids, we've got the kids.
What do you mean the kids?
Come on, come on, come on.
The kids?
The competition winners.
Oh, the competition. Oh, I completely forgot. Wait, but that was supposed to be tomorrow, the competition. No, they're coming tomorrow in Rome. Oh, what? Yeah, okay. So basically, guys, just so you know, we ran a competition last week, and some kids have won the competition, and they basically were asked to draw a picture of Ronan Keating for my Ronan shrine, because I love Ronan. So these are our competition winners. What are your names? Lottie and Kinga, everyone. Say hi to Lottie and Kinga! Hi, Lottie and Kinga. What have you bought for my shrine? Wow. So who came first? Who got first place? Kinga. Kinga got first place for this piece. Kinga, was this yours? So Kinga made this incredible picture of Ronan. Well done, Kinga. And Lottie, you made this? Like, everybody check this out. Woo! Now, what a likeness. Liam, can you get a close-up of this for the people at home so they can see that amazing likeness of Ronan? Should we put it in the shrine? Okay, guys, now listen. I made a bit of a mistake because I didn't know you were coming today. So would you be able to just sit there very quietly while I get on with what I'm doing? Yeah? Yeah, can you just keep an eye on it? Right, thank you. Okay, right. I'll look after you later, I promise. Okay, where was I? Oh, yeah. There's a game we play every week where we look at 3 works of art, and one of them is a real work of art, and 2 of them are actually farts. We faked it. They're not really art at all. So, shall we see what we've got this week? As I show you these, I'd like you to vote, are they art or are they fart? And then we'll see. Okay, the first one in run, if you may. Okay, it is time for art or fart. Okay, thank you. So this is the first one, and this is a bloke. Have you got it, Liam? Can you show the guys this? Okay, guys, hang on. Let's get in on him. Right, it is. So the first one, is it art or is it fart? It is a bloke with a fish. Bloke with a fish, everybody. Is it art or is it fart? The second one that we've got is this one. So we've got a bloke with a fish. Now we've got, can we zoom in on his face, please, Liam? We've got this geezer here. We've got a selfish bloke. So we've got a bloke with a fish, a selfish bloke. What do you think, Alexander? Claire, any ideas? And this is the last one this week, which is a painting of a shellfish. So we've got a bloke and a fish. You say it's fart, Claire. We've got a selfish bloke, and we've got a painting of a shellfish. Alexandra, I know you always say art. You think the whole show's art? Yeah, maybe. Ugh, but play along. One of them's real art and 2 of them are fart. Okay, right. So, what do we think about the bloke with the fish? Is he art or is he fart? Fart? You're totally right. Saffron? No, it's a bloke with a fish. It's fart. Ugh. Okay. The selfish bloke. Is he art or is he fart? What do you think? Can I call it? Shall I say? It's fart! He has to be fart. And the last one, the painting of the shellfish. It's pretty bad art, isn't it? But it is art! So it is art! So, bloke with a fish, fart. Selfish bloke, fart. Picture of the shellfish, art! Okay, thank you. Thanks, Amy. Right, so it's time to talk to you about something that's not quite as fun. Something that's not quite as nice. In this lovely world we live in, not everybody is a decent, stand-up human being. Unfortunately, there is some serious art world rotterism going on. It's time to look at the rotters.
They're smelly and they're rotten. They're the smelly rotters.
Okay, so here we have it. This is our leaderboard of the art world's rotters. And you can see we're building up quite a collection. We've got the Crays there, we've got forgers, we've got murderers. And this week, the first one I want to show you is this lady, Ivanka Trump. So this is Donald's daughter. She's got quite a nice art collection, and her husband works in the government. That means that they have to disclose if they've got any investments. But guess what? She hasn't, and she's been posting all sorts of pictures of her $25 million art collection all over Instagram. And a lot of the artists don't like it because they don't want to be associated with her. So they finally have declared it, because they have to declare anything above $1,000. So she's sort of come clean, but I don't know. I'm going to put her there. Let me know if it's Trump up or Trump down, and then we'll decide where she goes on the leaderboard of things. Now, this bloke. Actually, one of my favourite painters, so I think it's hard to associate him with any kind of Rotterism. It's Egon Schiele. Now, when he started making his work in Austria back in the day, in his small little town, they really didn't like his erotic drawings and paintings of young people. And the small town he lived in did everything they could to shut Egon down, but they couldn't get him on anything. So in the end, he did an exhibition of his work, and because underage minors were allowed into the gallery space, that's what they did him for. A lot of people don't know, but Egon did a month in prison for exposing young people to provocative images. I'm going to pop in there, but let me know, is he up? Her jewellery is ugly, Alex, and I think you're right, it has to be Trump up, doesn't it? Trump up? Trump up! Okay, but what about Schiele? Because he's a great painter. I don't even know if he's that rotten. This bloke, you will not believe this. Look at his face to start with. Now, this is Anthony Noel Kelly. He's a flipping body snatcher. So he got a job at the Royal College of Surgeons in London. And what he'd do after work there is he'd fill up his backpack with body parts, jump on the Northern Line up to Camden, and work at home making artwork out of these body parts. The dude had heads, arms, legs, all sorts of stuff. In the end, he got busted. 1998, he did 9 months in prison. So where should we put him? Yeah, it is yikes, that one. It's pretty freaky. Where should we pop him? Just below Trump. Okay, I think that's kind of it for the art world, smelly rotters. What do you lot think? Are you quite happy with that? Does that seem about right? Yeah? What's going on with the kids?
Yeah, they're getting a bit bored.
They're getting a bit bored?
Yeah.
Are you bored? What do you want to do? What do you think we should do? You want to see the studio? The kids want to see the studio. Do you guys want to have a look around the studio with them? Should we do that? Okay. All right, Imi, you gonna if you look after them, but there's going to have to be a few rules if we do this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Just follow a neat line, and I'll take you out. Okay. Now. Okay. So, guys, through here. So through here is where we make all the paint. Okay. This is actually our own paint factory. There are some things in here that are very dangerous, okay? So don't touch things that you're not allowed to touch, all right? Do you understand? Yeah. Okay, I'll take you through. Come on. Right, let's go. We're going to go into the paint factory. Okay. Right, now, everyone's gone home for the day. It's normally completely chaos out here, making all the lovely paint for everybody. But here we are. Now, girls, important thing to note. This door here, inside this door is where we make all the unicorn juice. We extract the juice from the unicorn's horns right behind here. So whatever you do, don't go in there. Now, here's one of our workers. He's obviously been unicorning. And over here. Imran, can you get a little bit closer to the door so that we can see where they do the unicorns? Yeah? And through here is where we split the paint colours. So the black paint goes in here, and this splits the paint into the spectrum. Can you move it down a little bit? Something like that. Yeah, and then this is where the colours come out. So we put pure black in here, the blackest black, and it splits it into all the colours of the rainbow. Isn't that amazing? Now, do you want to see where I paint? Yeah? Okay, shall I show you? Come on then, follow me, let's have a look. So, this is where we do our TV show every week. And in here is where I do all my painting. And over here is where I can sit down and I come up with all my ideas and stuff like that. And this is my desk, and I'm working on different potions and art materials and stuff. And then over here is where I paint, and we've just stretched up a brand new one ready, so I'm really excited to go on that. Okay? Is it all good? Okay, shall we go back? I'm going to have to get on with the show now, all right? But you've had a look round, so that's good. Come on. Yeah, okay. Imran, you seem to have lost a kid. Yeah, okay. Well, there you go. Hopefully that was interesting for you lot as well. I think the kids liked it. Now, I've been thinking about social media this week, as I said. I've made a little video, which is the top 5 most followed artists on Instagram. At number 5, with 335,000 followers, it's Ai Weiwei. And at number 4, with 364,000 followers, it's Takashi Murakami. At number 3, with an absolutely whopping 871,000 followers on Instagram, it's Cause. And at number 2, with almost 1 million followers, 990,000 to be precise, it's Shepherd Fairy. And at number 1, and there's not much in it, it is, with 1 million followers on Instagram, the mighty JR. Okay, so this is going to be the bit of the show where we look at your homework and we talk about your work. If you've got any questions you want to ask me before the end of the show, though, hit those comments and I'll do my best to answer them while we're here, while we're live. Okay, let's do the crit.
It's time for the crit!
Okay, last week for your homework, I asked you to make a piece of text work which described how you felt about painting, and one piece has come back that actually I found quite moving. It's quite emotional, and it's very, very honest, and I think it's a great thing for us all to be able to see and share together. Jennifer has sent this piece in, and I'm going to read you what Jennifer said, because like no one's going to put this better than Jennifer, and I think it's something that maybe we've all wrestled with, but maybe none of us have been brave enough to say. Jennifer says that she's not a strong painter, although she does quite enjoy it. She says that I really made her realise something rather sad about why she paints with the assignment. After much reflection, she realised that she paints for attention. She paints so that anyone really, might tell me that I'm worth something, that she's great, that I'm better than average, to make her feel more special than the basic no-name that she is. In light of this, she painted something to describe how that realisation made me feel, and then she thanks us for doing the show. And Jennifer, that is so honest. And do you know what? I think you matter massively. And the fact that you've shared that piece of work is brilliant. It's real art. You should be really proud. It's a stonking piece. Well done. Jason's sent in some work as well. And he says that after a bit of thought, after restarting to paint after a 20-year hiatus, and now painting regularly for the past couple of years, he's truly obsessed with creating and experiencing art. Henceforth, his submission is called Obsessed, and it's acrylic and marker on watercolour board. And he loves freehand letters, so they look like they're out from the 80s. So thank you for sending that in, Jason. And the last one today that we've got time for is from Claire, and she says, hi Claire, Claire says that growth seems the most appropriate word for her. The love of art grows constantly, and for her it's like a plant growing, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing, Claire. Thank you so much. Now, we're going to delve into the part of the show where I'm going to show you a film about something that's going on, and you're going to tell me what you think about it. This is the Brilliant Bananas.
Brilliant are bananas, bananas are brilliant, brilliant are bananas.
Yeah, so the way that this works is, as you watch the film, vote. Tell me, is it brilliant or is it bananas? And at the end, we'll see what we all thought. We'll take a tally. Okay?
Okay, guys,
Let's do
this
it.
week I thought rather than looking at an artist or a particular artwork in Brilliant or Bananas, we'd look at an actual phenomenon that I see going on and growing, which is this idea of people turning up to art shows, galleries, museums, art fairs, and taking photos of themselves in artwork. It's a bit like turning up to a great gig and watching the whole show and your favourite performer through the screen of your cell phone. Now, to me, that's absolutely bananas. But I think this might have gone a stage too far, where artists, galleries, museums and art fairs are actually putting out selfie-friendly work to encourage people to take pictures in it. And that's not for an artistic kind of statement, that's to extend the marketing message. So when social media is actually infiltrating the actual work that's being made, and people seem incapable of turning up and actually absorbing themselves in a great work of art without having to show off to their friends that they're in the thing, I think we might have a problem. But you guys tell me, is this kind of thing brilliant, or is this kind of thing extremely bananas?
So we're almost out of time. There's just time for me to set you this week's homework. Now we're talking about social media. We've been talking about selfies. Obviously, I'm looking for a self-portrait this week, and I'd love you to upload it to the new community. I think the point of a selfie or art about the internet is that it has to kind of exist on the internet. So upload it to the new Facebook community. We can all comment on it. But I think I'm going to ask you to expose something, do something brave. There's too many perfect airbrushed selfies out there. This isn't about portraying your perfect life. This is about telling us something deeply personal about you in a public forum. That's the homework. Not as easy as it sounds. Now, we're at the end of the show. All that's left is to answer your questions. I've got about 60 seconds to do... Oh, Brilliant or Bananas? I completely forgot. So Rachel, you say it's bananas. Yeah? Emily says bananas. Okay. A lot of people think it's bananas. Rachel thinks it's bananas. Okay, Liam, can we run the barometer and find out, was it brilliant or was it bananas?
It's bananas!
It's totally, completely and utterly bananas! Oh my gosh, okay. It was banana. Oh, for flipping heck. You knew he was going to get his moment one of these times, didn't you? All right, go on, have it, have it. It was bananas! We love it when it's bananas. Okay, we've got 60 seconds now to look at your work, and I'm going to try and answer those questions. Unfortunately, we also lost our camera because I jumped about a bit too much, but don't worry, we're still here. I've got 60 seconds to answer your questions before the end of the show. Banana Man, can you hold this for me? Okay, let's do it. Ready? Go. Jochan says, Nigel's great, but he doesn't understand what he meant by printed with a laser on canvas. Jochan, join the community. He's on the... What? Oh my God! What's happened to you? Zochan, join the community and ask Nigel yourself. He's on there. Craig, you're juggling with what seems to be a number of different artistic personas. It's frustrating because your art lacks continuity. You don't want to narrow yourself too much though. What should you do? Just keep making, just paint through it. Sue, what was the first painting I remember seeing? Van Gogh's Sunflowers, it was amazing. Emily, what's your favourite paintbrush? Do I eat cheese? Yes, I do. And I'm out of time, everybody. So that was it. Thank you so much for joining me for Art School. I'm going to see you all next week right here in my studio. Please join the community. Please do your homework. I can't wait to see what you've been making. Thank you very, very much. Oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, he's enlisted children to gunge me. Liam, turn it off!
Art School!
Oi!
It's Art School. It's like normal school, but more arty. 'Cause it's
Artschool.